We wanted to provide an update to our weight loss challenge. We started on November the 1st, and today is officially December the 1st, so we've got 1 month in. If you don't know us, a little introduction. My name's William.
I'm Colleen.
And we have started this journey together, and it's been surprisingly easy for the accountability. We just recently moved here to the island from the hill country, and we're loving every minute of it. But, we've been eating out a little bit more than we probably should have, and indulging, and that's shown up in our weight. And we're sailing more, and that requires a little bit more able bodies, so we know that it's important that if we really want to pursue sailing as something serious, that we need to keep our fitness in check. So, Colleen, you have now in 1 month have lost 12.4 pounds, and you're averaging 0.4 a day. So, is that your normal numbers? Or?
No, I'm in menopause. I have autoimmune issues, so trying to lose weight is like banging my head against the wall.
Yep.
So, no, I'm real good for it. I mean, some people wouldn't be, some people want to see big numbers, but
well, I think 0.4 is really big numbers. And so what I've told her multiple times is that I've yo-yo dieted most of my life, and I've joined lots of weight loss challenges with different friends. And if I put my mind to it, I very seldom lose. Well, we have had 4 weeks, and she has handily beat me 2 of those weeks. I won the first week and this last week, but she's won the 2 weeks in between. But overall, she still, percentage-wise, is losing more than me. So I'll talk about a couple of the strengths that I've seen, or what the things that are changing and making this a little bit easier this time. One is that we look at the 7-day average. So we're weighing every single day, and you see these highs and lows. For this morning alone, I gained 0.6 pounds, and I had a pretty decent day yesterday. I did some walk running, hit my calories, I stayed fairly active. I did everything right, but the scale showed me an increase. But what I'm doing is, if we measure every day and we're looking at the 7-day average, it averages it out. So I'm always seeing a loss. And neither one of us have had a gain on our 7-day average as long as we've gone. Now, we have fluctuations with fluid, or whether we eat more salt or not. And so we see those, and it's hard to see. And I've had, I think one day I gained like 1.9 pounds, which is really disheartening when you do the work, because I've literally shown up every day. I've not had a cheat day or a fail day. Have you had any days that you think you went a lot higher than you should have, or
not a lot higher? No.
Well, because we're eating together, and so a couple of the components is we're doing HelloFresh meals that you've been doing those for quite some time, and they come in double servings, or one portion gets 2 servings. So you've been sharing those with me, and now you got some meals that I enjoy. So I really like those. Fresh food, it's just a lot of work. It just sends you the ingredients and the recipe, and you cook it yourself. A lot less waste, but it's still just the same amount of time. And for the cost, it's about as much as going out. So the frugal part of me kind of comes out going, maybe let's just go out and let somebody else cook for us.
I'm fine with that.
So, and I was also doing factor meals. I really like those at first, but they kind of get boring, and so you don't have much of a variety with those. And the ones I don't like, I really, really don't like. But there was a few that are decent. The calorie count makes it easy, and because it's whole foods, I'm getting the good macros. I feel like I'm more full easily and for longer. We had a small Thanksgiving meal we made here at the house, and it was all good stuff. But it just kind of felt like that meal, like is even though in quantity it was bigger, it didn't stay with me as long. How about you?
See, and I had the opposite that day for whatever reason.
Yeah, I think the plate's still in there. You hadn't even finished it.
I haven't even finished it, but I gained.
Well, again, so we had, instead of having a large turkey, it's just her and I, we had a couple small Danish corn hens. And so when you're kind of seasoning those, they have a little bit more salt than usual. What else did I make? Asparagus. Again, we put a little Tony's on that. That's salt, sweet potatoes. And so, things that probably had a higher salt intake than we would typically eat. So we're probably holding on to some water retention for that. And the 7-day average normalizes everything. So what has been some of your biggest challenges for this diet?
I haven't been as good as you have with making sure to get my steps in. Like I'm at a certain time of night, I'm out.
Yeah. Well,
I'm
I've
tapped
noticed that if I don't get my 10,000 steps, I don't see the weight loss. And and even, I know it sounds crazy, but if I just have 6,000, and the next morning, I'm almost always going to see a 0 or a little bit of a gain. Where if I hit my 10,000, like I'm more consistent with getting a weight loss out of that. So I've been true to that. So we got, give or take, 30 days. I think it's exactly 30 days.
Yeah.
And I think I've missed 3 or 4 days that I've not hit my 10,000. And if you did again, looking at averages, if I average it out, I think I'm over 10,000 a day. But I kind of stopped right there because I used to be an avid runner and cyclist, and I could eat as much as I want just because I would burn it off. But I'm not right now. I'm concentrating on minimizing my intake. So by doing more fitness, I think I would be more hungry. So I'm trying to get the weight off me, and so that it would help me. I know it sounds kind of odd, and I had a benchmark that I wanted to lose, which was about 15 pounds. And then I started running. So I hit that a few days ago, and I've actually started to introduce running into it. It's going to be easier on my knees and hips, and just kind of allow those adaptations to occur so I can start running and not be injured 2 or 3 days into it. So what's been easy for you?
Remarkably, well, we're not going out to eat as much,
Yeah.
so that is helpful because especially Mexican food or a burger, I gotta have fries. So we haven't even been to a burger place.
No,
so,
now that you say that, I don't think we've had.
No.
Yeah, I had a work function that included a gala, and that was really hard. And it's not always socially acceptable, but I chose to not eat versus portion control there. I'd already had my meal, so I ate before we left. So again, a little bit socially awkward to not eat. But nobody made a big deal about it. I think it was more on me than anything that you're in a formal setting and you choose not to eat because people are like, you not feel well, or is this a dietary restriction or not? Just kind of, and I just blew it off. It's like, no, I'm good. I'm just not hungry right now, or I've already eaten. And most people everybody let it go.
See, and I travel once
Yeah, so
week
you
a
had
month.
your
Yeah.
30th. Your 30-year anniversary at work, right? So
Yes.
again, a little small celebration. And what do we do when we celebrate? There's treats, there's cake and donuts and cookies or whatever. I think you had
I had a
cakes.
yes,
Yeah.
nothing but bub cake.
Yeah. So did you indulge in that?
But it took me over 24 hours to eat one.
Oh, so you ate one small bun cake?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay.
So I had a couple bites, and then
Yeah. Was it ever
couple.
on your radar to say no? I don't. I guess really not. That's all they had, right? Just the cakes.
yeah, and
So
they
that'd be a little
ordered
bit different.
special ones were made. No, I'm trying to. And then we had our Thanksgiving meal at the headquarters. So, and somebody
Yeah.
made special desserts that she made just offered to a few of us. So you can't.
What was the special dessert?
It was like a chocolate pecan pie bar.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
sounds
you
good.
can't. For that would be rude, because she's proud of them.
Yeah, for sure.
And so I had some of it. So I tried to, even at the meal, I got one little dollop of mashed potatoes, and they were so good. Just had that. The stuffing, which is one of my faves, I had a little dollop. So I tried to just satisfy the taste by having a bite, but then filling up on the green beans or the turkey or something else. And, just enjoying life still a little bit.
Oh, absolutely,
but
absolutely. Have to.
limiting.
So we have one more. Well, actually two, if you want to count New Year's Eve. We're not big New Year's Eve or day kind of people, but we don't know what it's going to,
Yeah.
what it's going to look like for us. But we still have Christmas coming. We're not sure what Christmas Day looks like, but we're going to spend time with the family. I think the week before. Everybody's gotten recently scattered across the states, so I believe it's going to be about a week before. Well, at least if nothing else, see them. And,
Part of them, yeah.
So often those events they circle around food, and so we'll have to kind of figure that out. But it's not as hard with family, right?
Yeah.
So We talked about your numbers that you've lost 12.4 pounds. So, like, does that really surprise you, or are you excited about it, or you want more?
Yeah, that's, the mindset. Like, you want to be there already, but you need to stop and celebrate. It's not a small one, it's a pretty big one. I mean, like I said, I've been trying to diet, off and on forever with autoimmune and menopause. That's a huge number. So I got to remind myself, like, that's
Sure.
right. And I'm able to get into clothes I wasn't able to get into.
Yeah, I haven't seen that yet. And historically, for me, is when I lose about 20 pounds, I'll start noticing. What are you doing? I'll start noticing that my clothes fit a little bit different. I'm not there yet. I mean, maybe like a placebo effect. I feel like the shirts are a little bit looser, but so I'm at 16.7 pounds, and I'm averaging 0.6 pounds a day. And again, that's, you take those first week where we were like losing a pound every day, or even more sometimes. So again, it's just kind of getting your body to normalize. So we weigh in once a week. Is that working out for you? So we both weigh individually every day, and we use Garmin. We have a Garmin scale that links up to our Garmin watches, as well as the Garmin app. And so we got to get to see the analytics on that. I don't so much anymore pay attention to the water weight and the bone mass, and there's probably 10 metrics that it measures. Right now I'm just looking at the weight, and it works out for me. I know you're looking a little bit more in that. In fact, we've gotten so committed to this that when you go out of town, we've bought you your own scale, so they don't link
Maybe
up.
they're bougie, I'm not sure.
Yeah. No, I don't think it's bougie to have, and they're not that expensive anymore. Back when they first came out, they were a bit pricey. But it allows you to kind of keep up, right? So if you have one day that turns into 2 bad days, 3 bad days, when you come back, then you fall off. And if you're not, being accountable with me and holding me accountable and holding you accountable, then I fall off. So like, it's a great investment the way I see it.
And it did help me because, when like the first day I didn't have the scale because we had it delivered down there, and I was worried, and so I tried to offset and do different things. So then when I did weigh, I did see that worked out well.
Good.
And so it was a reward in itself that kept me going on that same track, whereas otherwise I could have fallen off and maybe I wouldn't eat more potatoes.
And I like this because we're keeping it fair, because we're taking a look at each other, but we're doing percentage of weight loss.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter, that you're obviously much smaller than I am and I'm larger than you. So it makes it equitable and fair. And you're still stomping me on that, but if we look at just pure numbers, my numbers are higher than yours, but the body of percentage fat. So the win in that category is for you. We've set up some incentives. They're kind of just quirky little fun stuff. So whoever loses the week has to make the bed each day, which is not entirely fair. She generally makes the bed anyways, but there was a couple weeks that I had to make it, and I think she took a little joy in that. She did question, because she was out of town, she was like, do those days actually count?
I'll never know.
Yeah. But we have some other stuff. But we have like a incentive for the first person that loses 10% of their body weight. Just a little, cash to go buy new clothes or new wardrobe. The big one that we're both aiming for, and we both have to achieve a loss of 12.5, and we've decided that when we get to that point, we're going to schedule some kind of Caribbean island vacation. So I think we could probably get there as soon as a couple months, and then we can plan that, and if we continue to lose, that we actually go on the vacation at like 15% body loss.
Yeah.
That's a great reward, and that's what's kind of our big goal that we're looking at. There's some smaller stuff, and most of them are incentives, so there are a couple of decentives. If we gain weight, we kind of have what that looks like. And if you gain weight 2 weeks in a row, which is basically meant you've fallen off, we said no social media. Like, that's huge for anybody these days, kind of to set your phone down. And the idea on that is that if you set your phone down, well, you got nothing else to do but walk or exercise or do something, because you're not on your phone as much. And we're not horrible, but we certainly enjoy some of the time we spend on it. So we're going to make sure that doesn't happen, which would be highly unlikely outside of you just stop dieting completely.
Right now, yeah.
But there's got to be some kind of trigger there to say, hey, to keep you on board, because I need her as much as she needs me. So, let's see. So what's been some of your go-to foods?
Protein.
What's your number one protein right now?
Fill up. Greek yogurt. Like, well, I mean, stuff I like, and I get blueberries right now are really yummy.
Everybody
so
knows blueberries for protein.
They're
high in blue.
In my Greek. And protein shakes, cottage cheese.
Those never work for me. I've tried them, but they just kind of trigger. So, and that goes into what's been probably my number one challenge, and I've known it a long time before this, is that snacking is just hard for me. I can't have a granola bar or a piece of fruit. That triggers more hunger that I want to eat. So it's easier for me to eat a meal, get full, and then let that last 4+ hours versus having, something that may be 100 or 200 calories. I'm still hungry. I go in there and get something else that's 100 or 200 calories. Now I've got those 400 to 500 calories that I could have had in a meal. And then I still end up having the meal 4 or 5 hours later. So I noticed the days that are not as successful as the others, or let's just say they're higher calories, are the days that let me just snack, let me just grab a quick snack.
Yeah.
I always think it's going to work. It sounds great, but it's not. And taking the other side of that, what I've not been doing well is my water intake. I don't know. I've not been thirsty, and I need to fix that and get a little bit more water. I've heard so many people say. I had a trainer. It's probably been a couple of years now, and he said, if I had 3 things on the list, he says, if you told me you're going to work out every day for an hour, including your cardio and strength, or you're going to diet and keep your calories under 1,800 calories a day, or if you're going to make sure to get the adequate amount of water every day, out of those 3 things, he said, I'd want you to do the water. And that spoke volumes. This guy was a professional bodybuilder, and he's got minimal body fat and very healthy, clean living. He actually even did some meal prepping, which I loved, but nothing has stuck with me more than that word. It's not that it's had the right effect, because I'm not drinking water. I'm just not thirsty right now. And when I wake up in the morning, I've had a couple, bouts of being nauseated, and the water just kind of makes that worse. And at work, I get busy. And you shouldn't be too busy to drink water. I should have it there, but I'll drink coffee at about noon, and then I'll grab, like an iced tea, unsweet tea, for the afternoon, and that's kind of. And I get home, and that's kind of it. I need to fix that.
You've done very well at cutting out the sugary drinks,
yes,
like the sodas.
Yeah, out of nowhere, my sweet tooth has really decreased, because I was a fiend for candy and chocolate, and I still enjoy it, but I'm not obsessed by it. When we go to a checkout counter, almost before, if there was M&Ms or a Snickers bar, I'd almost grab it. I don't care if I was going to the hardware store or the dollar store or whatever. I'll grab a candy bar just because I love candy or cakes or whatever. And they're not calling out to me. I still enjoy them. I still want them, but it's not a crutch right now. For Thanksgiving, I bought this little plate that had little small cake bites. They were 1 inch by 1 inch, and probably even they're cubed, about 1 inch tall. I thought, hey, that'll actually help us control how much we have. And they were high calorie. They were like 100 a piece, like 2 bites and you're done with it. And it had 16 in it, so 1,600 calories for the entire plate or whatever packaging. Yeah, and that didn't work for me either, because as I said about the snack, I'd have one, like, let me have 2, and I just kind of get the taste of it. I was never satisfied, and I think one day, I think it was Thanksgiving, I had 4 of them. There's 400 calories, and it really I could have ate 4 more. And so we're glad to be done with those. We just kind of plowed through them, found a way to get them into our diet. Our
calorie count.
Our calorie count, yes. So not the smartest thing, but again, we don't waste a lot of food here either, and I'm certainly not going to waste cake bites. But yeah, we don't need that kind of stuff in the house, is what I learned.
Yeah.
So,
no, definitely.
And it was a treat. It was for Thanksgiving, right? We wanted to have something kind of sweet, but I was just as content with the sweet potatoes I made. They had a good natural sweet taste to them. I think that's kind of it. So I think maybe we'll try to post some intermittent videos maybe. Now that I'm running, maybe I'll try to see. I used to video a lot when I ran and kind of narrate that. Again, back when I was a little fitter than I am now. But let's do this again in a month. It'll be January the 1st when we do this and see where we are. And so what's your goals? If you've lost, what's your number? So if you lost 12.4 in a month, that's another month. What kind of goal do you set for yourself?
I'm trying to remember. I think it was.
No, but what do you think? I'm just kind of shooting off the top of your head.
What, if I can do another 12?
No. What's your goal? Like, how many pounds do you want to try to lose over?
I think it was like in December. I'll take another 12.
Do you think that's realistic?
See, it's a month of magic. So
Yeah, I'm gonna be a little bit more realistic.
and it's
So
also
I'll-
my birthday, so that's kind of hard too.
Yeah. Well, at
And
least they fall on the same
Christmas.
day, so if you blow it out one day, it's versus 2 days.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
And so I lost 16.7 this first month, and I'd like to see 10 to 12. I think that'd be fair. I'm going to have to do the work, and not a big difference right now, but my BMR, the smaller, so the less my weight, the less my BMR, so it's less calories I can eat, or that I need to actually increase on my exercise.
Yeah, I'll say 8 to 10. I'll
So,
be happy.
real quick, who do you have here in your lap? I don't think he's been on a couple of videos, just very nonchalantly at my feet when
Yes.
I've recorded, but
This is Scrappy. Scrappy is a 3-year-old Yorkie. Yeah, 3.
yep,
Yeah.
it's 3.
He got a haircut yesterday, but he's
Yeah.
not the bestest boy getting a haircut, so he's a little uneven.
Yeah, he don't like his head messed with.
Oh, and now he's being rambunctious.
Yeah, so we got a little sweater on him because he was just shivering because he had a full coat yesterday before we got him cut. And he has better sweaters. This was one of them we had when we first got him, so it's a little small on him. And it's not a great color for him.
It's not, isn't it? It's not
It looks a little
color
different.
palette.
So, but yeah, he pretty much has to be in your lap 24/7. If he has an opportunity, he's going to be in your lap.
Yes, yes.
All right. Well,
He's my work buddy too.
yeah. Well, thanks for watching and allowing us to kind of talk through our update. And if you like this kind of content, give us a like and maybe even consider subscribing. I have a couple playlists. I have a lot of sailing, or I'm trying to have more sailing stuff. Right now, our boat is got its mast down, and so that's kind of stopped. But I'm still sailing on some other boats on Wednesday nights. We hope to have our boat back in running condition and sailing condition here in the next week or 2. We're waiting on some parts. So, and then the rigger will put the mast back up, and hopefully we can get out and get some time on the water on our own.
Well, and talking about our big reward at 12.5%, I would love if our vacation could include like renting a
Chartering a boat.
catamaran or
Yeah.
chartering a boat
Yeah.
down in the Caribbean. I think that would be wonderful.
And we're off season, so it maybe would be a little cheaper.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
we'll have to check into that. Big reward, and they provision, so you can control your
yeah.
food while you're down there. So. All right, well, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.